Okay, area of a circle and the area of a sector. Well, circles aren't that exciting, so I might grab a pizza here. Pepperoni and mushroom. First, I can slice it. In this case, it looks like 16 pieces. Or is that 12? Just 12 pieces, I guess. Rearrange them into a rectangle. That's not much of a rectangle, is it? But if I could cut thinner and thinner pieces, it would more and more resemble a rectangle. The width of that rectangle would become pretty close to the radius of the circle. The length of that rectangle would be closer and closer to half the circumference. Okay, my pizza visual didn't work out too well here. Right, so if a circle gets cut into a lot of slices, when we rearrange them, it looks more and more like a rectangle. The width of that rectangle gets closer and closer to r, the radius of that circle. And the length of that rectangle gets closer and closer to half the circumference. So if I go length times width, pi r times r, pi r squared. That's the area of a circle. So if I know the radius, I can do pi r squared. 5 times 5 is 25. That's an exact answer. I grab a calculator and come up with an approximate decimal answer. Notice if the radius is inches, the area is square inches. Get a picture this time. So I know pi r squared. Radius. I don't know the radius. I know the diameter is exactly twice the radius. Now, if you're wondering why I did not make this a decimal, it's easy enough in my head to figure out 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 2 is 4. Right, if I had changed that instead to 1.5, 1.5 squared, I don't know how well I'm going to do with 1.5 squared in my head. But 3 over 2, I can square that piece of cake. And then, of course, if I want a rounded answer, grab a calculator, push some buttons. It comes out slightly larger than 7.7 and about 7.07. Ooh, gotta go the opposite direction. I'm given the area. I need to find the diameter. Well, area is pi r squared. I know the area is 48. Divide both sides by pi. Take the square root. Now, if you're wondering why I did not ask to have an exact answer, try and simplify square root of 48 over pi. Have a lot of fun with that, all right? So remember, good mathematicians, we never leave the square root of a number on the denominator, and so you're going to have to play with simplifying a square root of pi on the bottom of a fraction. No fun in that. So we're just going to grab a calculator. Notice I had to use parentheses to make sure the calculator did the 48 divided by pi first before taking the square root. Uh-oh. I'm not trying to find the radius. I want the diameter. Well, gotta double the radius, and that will get me the diameter. If the area was square feet, diameter is going to be feet. Okay, now for the sector, we're no longer looking for the entire circle. We just want a chunk of it. And just like we did for the length of an arc, we're going to set up a proportion. We'll compare the area of the sector to the area of the entire circle, the same way the measure of the arc compares to the measure of the entire circle. Again, that's how I would memorize this. But the alternative form you might come across sometimes, they solved it for the area of the sector. Just multiply both sides by pi r squared. But since we're not always looking for the area of the sector, I like to leave it as the proportion. So let's try one with numbers here. Area of the sector. I'm trying to figure that out. Area of the circle, well, it's going to be pi r squared. Measure of the arc, we're told that. Measure of the circle, of course, is always 360 degrees. Radius was 8. Measure of the arc, AB, was 60 degrees. I know 8 times 8 is 64. Notice when I reduce the fraction on the right-hand side, the degrees cancel out. Multiply both sides by 64 pi. Simplify the fraction if possible. I have an exact answer. And then if I so desired, I can grab a calculator, push some buttons, and come up with an approximate answer. So another awesome worksheet. Go along with the lesson. Give you a chance to practice with pencil and paper, or pen and paper as the case may be. And then with the IXL, it actually matches what we're doing here, area of sectors.